But first tonight, it is a murder trial 11 years in the making. The disappearance of 6-year-old Isabel Celis in Tucson was plastered all over the national headlines back in 2012.
5 years later, Christopher Clements led officers to her remains in the desert and would later be connected to the death of 14-year-old Maribel Gonzalez as well. Clements was recently sentenced to life in prison for Maribel's death, and now he stands trial for Isabel's murder.
Yeah, but he claims he is not guilty. True Crime Arizona's Brianna Whitney is here now with testimony this week that will likely shape this entire trial.
Yeah, Michael, this is big. You have Christopher Clements claiming he only knew where Isabel Celis's body was buried, but his defense team says he did not actually murder her. Instead, they're trying to pin Isabel's murder on someone else, her father.
Her disappearance captured the nation. 6-year-old Isabel Celis disappeared from her Tucson bedroom more than a decade ago. The case went cold until 2017 when Christopher Clements led authorities to her remains.
You told us where she was. So I know that you know a lot more. You have to. Just by the mere fact that you knew where she was. You have to.
I know a lot more than that.
Now he's on trial for the little girl's kidnapping and murder. Cameras aren't allowed in the courtroom, so we're relaying what's played out with witness testimony. Isabel's parents, Rebecca and Sergio, both taking the stand this week after years of advocacy for their daughter.
Just hope. That's all we have is hope.
But the defense team says Sergio Celis has acted suspicious since day one. They claim he sounded calm on his 911 call about his daughter's disappearance and waited 15 to 20 minutes before calling police. Isabel's mother coming to her husband's defense, saying behind the scenes he was not calm at all. Prosecutors point blank asked Sergio if he had anything to do with his daughter's disappearance and death, to which he said absolutely not, and told the court, quote, "We had 3 kids. 2 are here today, and the other is always right here," while pointing to his heart. My Isabel Mercedes would be 17. Today, much of the important testimony came from Christopher Clements' ex-fiancée, Melissa Stark. She told the FBI Clements asked her to call them and say he knew where Isabel's remains were in exchange for dropping previous charges against him in a different crime. Stark told the court she was with Clements from 2012 to 2020, and while she couldn't remember if Clements ever talked to her about any involvement in Isabel's disappearance, she did say he asked her to check for a note under a rock in the front yard of their home. She said she destroyed the note, but that it allegedly had Isabel's name on it. Clements' defense attorney says there's no proof the note ever existed.
A Tucson police detective and DNA expert also took the stand this afternoon. Crime scene photos of Isabel's remains were shown, and that's when her family left the courtroom. It was in the same area where Isabel's remains were found that 14-year-old Maribel Gonzalez's remains were later found too. Clements' DNA at that crime scene ultimately led to a murder conviction in Maribel's case late last year. Of course, we'll bring you the latest as this trial continues. Michael?
All right, Brianna, thank you for that.